Well, that may be true.
And that's generally how these things
We
work
have
out.
different points.
That's why the main disagreements, the main splits end up being is is the prioritization of perceived positive outcome in one particular vector over another vector.
I mean, we have different points of view, which is cool. You know?
Yeah.
That's
I would say that we have different priority stacks as to what we would consider the most positive value area.
Well, I know that one thing. I know that billionaires back in the day used to build big things. The Hoover Dam, the Chrysler Building, the Empire State Building. All they used to provide jobs,
yes.
And it was fine. It was fine for them to have millions and billions of dollars as long as they were doing that. But they don't do that anymore.
Well, there's very little incentive to.
We give tax cuts to them. We give tax cuts to them that they don't need. They will never be able to spend the amount of money that they have, nor will their heirs. There is a finite amount of value to our country. Okay.
But would a better reason? So just hypothetically, you have a person with more money than they need. What is a better way to make that money move to take it by force, or to somehow to encourage them to build or change or move or
invest? That's the problem. You can't encourage them anymore.
So force is the only option.
People aren't the same as they used to be. These people aren't the Rockefellers. They aren't the Carnegies. They aren't these same people anymore.
Why? That would be the question I would try to answer. What has changed about the context that seems to have caused this behavioral problem? Because people aren't different.
Greed.
So it's a contextual problem. So therefore, it's something about the structure, the system in which they're existing, that's causing this problem. So that's where you got to find the solution. It's not the people.
Oh, it's the people. It's the people who are making money off of money and not working. And the working people, look, Social Security, they say, is dying. Okay? Did you know that the middle class, the lower class, up to $117,000 pays into Social Security and into FICA and to Social Security and Medicare.
Right.
Everything over $117,000, you can make $3, $4, $5 billion in a year, and you only pay payroll taxes on $117,000. Are you telling me that's right?
I don't think paying payroll taxes at all is right, honestly. Because in my personal experience, this is my personal experience.
You don't believe in Social Security and Medicare, then?
Not as a forced institution. I would be okay with maybe a voluntary, because the whole idea is we know how to take care of you better than you know how to take care of yourself. Therefore, we're going to take your money. We're going to force you to do something. We're going to, which is, in any kind of forcibility is violence. So we are going to do this thing because we think that it is better for you, but you're not. I mean, like Social Security, that's the whole theory, is that you can't take care of yourself.
So many people are ignorant.
It's an incomplete solution. It's a flawed solution. It's saying there's a problem, so let's do something.
Yeah, there is a problem.
But they're not addressing the cause of the problem. They're trying to change the outcome of the problem. And so many problems are messed up by that thing.
In poverty.
But it's saying that we're going to force the difference in the outcome without addressing or figuring out what's the actual cause of the negative outcome.
Okay, I get that. But what is the end game? You know what I mean? What is the end game? you can have all these values, but the end game is going to be people dying in poverty.
People are always dying.
And
And
there's a way to
existence,
take care of that.
perpetuation of existence is not a particularly, I mean, that's not a particularly valuable heuristic.
All right. What I'm saying is that you and I pay payroll taxes on our $117,000, and billionaires do not pay any penny past $117,000, and that is not right.
They're paying it somewhere. They may not be paying payroll taxes because they're probably not making a salary.
The capital gains tax is down to 14%. He's trying to drop it lower.
All I can say is that for my this is the story I was going to tell. All right, I'm not a.
I'm having a great time with you. I don't want to be.
I live nowhere in the country. I had my own business by the time I was 6 years old.
Mhm.
All right, I was a very hardworking young child. I worked. I mean, it's physical labor, and I made several $1,000s a year. When I was 6 years old, the government audited me. They basically took a 6-year-old away from her parents and asked me questions, which I didn't understand what was going on. All I knew is that it's good to to work and get results of that work. And then the more I worked and the more results, the more I built it up. Anyway, so the determination was that basically they were like, oh yes, you are apparently a productive 6-year-old, but you have to, so I started paying self-employment tax when I was 6. That puts kind of a bad taste in your mouth.
I'm not.
When they go, we're going to punish you.
This is not.
For being productive.
This is not sarcastic. I am applauding you.
But then it gets, I mean, as I grew up and I got into more business, and it's gotten worse, honestly, in the last few years. It's looking at the self-employment thing, the mandatory insurance payments. It's the numbers for getting back into my own business is way worse because of those increases.
Well, you know what? I think they should have incentives for small businesses instead of large corporations.
I think they should remove the restrictions they should remove, instead of pouring on the molasses and then strategically removing some molasses, they just shouldn't pour the molasses on in the first place.
Well.
And then I've also been involved in the farming and agriculture industry, which, if you want to talk about government's had their fingers in the pie for years and it doesn't work well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of examples there.
What did you do with agriculture?
I've been involved in peanut production. The government totally killed that particular.
They killed that for Jimmy Carter too.
No, they killed it because of government bureaucracy stuff. I mean, they were stupid, is honestly. They basically said, well, this government program, and everything is so controlled by the government program. Every agricultural commodity is so, I mean, it's literally defined by whatever the government defines it as.
Except for corn. Corn gets everything.
It still exists by the government definition, and it may have a government definition that works well with it at the moment, but it's still it's terrible for a producer. It's one of the few fields where it's an industry where the producer gets almost nothing.
Yeah.
And the producer has no control over what they can sell their product for.
Mm-hmm.
So
I guess it's a difference of culture. I guess I live on the East Coast.
Yeah, I mean, it's very different.
It's different.
But I've seen that my whole life. It's like,
it's different here. It is.
You see all this situation where it's like, all right, so I produce this product, I put all the risk, all the time, all the effort, and I have no control over how much I sell this product for.
My problem is that Donald Trump came in, said he was going to do certain things for people like you, and he had no intention of doing any of it. I think he swindled.
Well, some of those things.
I think he swindled all of you.
but the thing is if you're going off of people's what they say they're going to do, you're already valuing their intentions more than their results. And most politicians, this is me being cynical, most politicians are generally lying, and a lot of them don't they're going to make promises they can't keep. But at the same time, if you got two people, you're like, all right, this person's promises,
you at least want to go with the person who says they're going to help you, not the person who says they're going to not.
I like some of the possible outcomes of. You've got to go with the one that has some possible outcomes.
Exactly, that's where our differences lie, I guess. We have different priorities.
You obviously you saw more positive outcomes on the other side, but I'm guessing that you're more concerned with, you're looking at more social aspects.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because this would be I'm what I call myself, if I have to label it, like a constitutional libertarian with regards to the federal government. And I'm not opposed to social programs. But I disagree with federal. I disagree with federal level social programs. It costs money
to run a country. You know what I mean? It costs money to run a country, and we've got a president that's going down every
the upper level of the country.
$3 million.
The upper level of the country shouldn't be what's running all of these internal social programs, because our country is too large to effectively apply any sort of social thing on the scale.
I wish we were as small as Norway. I wish we were as small as.
No, but we were designed to go the other way. That's the thing. Is that we've already got the system in place to not be doing it.
I'll tell you what, Audrey.
We continue to put in people because people go, well, that sounds like.
I'll tell you what.
Well, let's just let and both sides do this. Like, I disagree with people on both sides because I'm a big Second Amendment person. I'm a competitive shooter. I'm all over the place. I have a lot of guns. I have people who want a federal right to carry bill. I disagree with that because that is implying a federal authority over a thing that they don't have authority over, right? And that's the disagreement I have with both sides. They try to give, in order to get a result they want, they give the federal authority that it doesn't need. And people don't understand that. They don't understand that they're implying authority every time they ask the federal government to do something.
But I have a problem. I guess we have just generally different.
And this illustrates what the problem with so much federal. So let me say something real fast, right?
Yeah.
This illustrates to me the problem with so much federal oversight and application domestically is that we are so diverse geographically, culturally, between where you live and where I live. Yeah. It's literally a different world.
Yeah.
And so the federal government, there is no way that there's going to be a solution to either one of our problems that's going to suit both of us.
The problem I have
both of our situations appropriately because it's so diverse. That's why that's why we need to stop asking the Fed to try to fix those sorts of problems.
See, the problem I have is that you can be in one state committing a crime, go into another state, you're not committing crime. You have no idea. I'm for continuity. I am for a strong centralized government. I'm for diversity. So I want people to be able. I want cultures to be able to be different. I want different geography, different areas, different industries to have different options. I want you to be able to go somewhere that is closer to what you want to be doing. I don't want, because we're never going to, utopia is a myth. I mean, we're not going to have a utopia. No, obviously.
So a centralized idea is going in that direction, is saying there's one thing that we can keep going towards that's going to work for all of us. And I disagree with that. There's never going to be one thing that's going to work for all of us. It's only going to be a continuing increase of a thing that works worse for all of us. Varying degrees of worse.
I don't know. I'm just for continuity. I like things to be the same every
Right, you like it to be simple, and that's nice, but
not
you
so
also
simple.
advocate
It's
a
not
lot of
simple. It's
here's
not
the contrast.
not-
You're talking about a theoretical continuity, but you also focus a lot on outcome-based solutions.
It has
And
nothing
so
to do.
I'm now talking about, and I focus a lot on the opposite. I focus a lot on theory, and then argue against outcome-based solutions. But in this case, I'm going, all right.